Yeah, so kwa hapa wanatuita Kemboy. Sana tunafanya kazi ya video. Na hata hatuna ubaya. So asante kwa kutukaribisha kwa podcast. Na Kevin hapa anakuwa jamaa pia ya hapo kwa karibu. So asante sana. Na pia mama alituma salamu. So asante sana.
Ile DVD ambayo ilikuwa na kasha kubwa, alafu kunyuma na movie mingi.
Home Alone 1 2 3 4.
So ulikuwa unafungua hivi alafu una select yenye unataka
so unaeka ile kwa DVD yako alafu unaangalia.
Then iko na thumbnails. Ingi, so you would scroll whatever you want. I don't know if all of them ever worked really, because I think it was issues of ukisaidia mse DVD atume scratch DVD yangu mnajamiana na
story wewe unachukua DVD
so that you can we actually push parents to try is control screen time. Because now when a kid understands that, okay, this thing, I like using it, I like playing this game, I like watching this video, yes, but it needs to be controlled, because see ati ni mzuri 24/7, there are downsides. So kids are trained with that. They grow up knowing that TV si ya kila saa, TV ni ya kama huko kwa free. Internet si ya kutumia kila mahali, kuna websites ufai ku access. Yeah, like I've interacted with parents who, rather than just blocking off websites on their routers, they tell their kids, hizi websites, kuna websites kama hizi na hizi, this is what they do. Tutazifunga, but if you access such a website, this is what you'll find, and this is what it will do to you. So the kid grows up with that notion that the internet is a very good place to be. Instagram utaenda utawatch reels ucheke, but if you click on the wrong link utajipata.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the cool side. This is Jokofo, should be episode 21. Yeah. And let me take this moment to... Is it episode 22? 22? Oh yeah, this is episode 22. Let me take this moment to maze kwa shukuru sana kwa the support you're giving us, the subscriptions, the likes, the interaction that you're having on our social platforms. Mungu azidi kuwabariki sana. Kama bado hujasubscribe, take this few seconds right now kusubscribe juu, as you can see, tuko tayari sana, and we have very beautiful guests here. Oh, ni handsome. Okay, handsome is relative, but tuko nao hapa.
Naanza na mawe.
They'll introduce themselves na tutaendelea kutoka hapo. So I've gathered the most tech interactive tech guys. So na there's another word. Tech savvy. Tech gurus. As much as possible when you're around from this county tuongee. So tukianza kama kawaida, my name is Mwandembe. Most of them ladies wananiita mkunga. Si ladies peke yake.
Okay.
Tuendelee kwako. Tuambie unaitwa nani? What do you do for a living?
Okay, my name is Noel Saido. By profession ama titles. By titles, mimi, I like to call myself just a programmer, an ethical hacker, because I'm really specific into cyber security, and I'm here to share whatever I know with you guys, and that's it about me.
So at this point sasa kuna options mbili, usubscribe ama tumwambia kusubscribe kwa niaba yako. Tuendelee Kevo. Another subscribe on your behalf. So
yeah, my name is Kelvin Langat. Professionally, I work as the head of ICT at the Frontier Pioneer School. Yeah.
On a normal day over suti.
Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
Nami ni Kemboy. Pia naitwa Blackwalker hapa kwa streets. Yeah, but my name is Kemboy.
As you can see.
Lighting inasaidia.
Lighting inasaidia.
Yeah, uzuri ni light yangu. So nilikuja podcast na light yangu.
Jo alisema wewe
professional film person, videographer. watu wa nyumbani, mimi ni cameraman ya video. Namulika kapesa. So, yeah. Thank you for having me in the pod. Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
Thank you very much for coming, particularly Ed. Amekuwa na sisi behind the scenes, is very instrumental behind the scenes huko. Ndio maana mna a bit of professionalism. By the way, to introduce na ile nini accent ya home.
Sorry?
To introduce na ile accent ya home.
Yeah, so kwa hapa home wanatuita K-boy. Sana tunafanya kazi ya video. Na hata hatuna upaya. So asante kwa kutukaribisha kwa podcast. Na Kevin hapa anakuwa jamaa pia ya hapo kwa karibu. So asante sana. Na pia mama alituma salamu. So asante sana.
Lazima uko na salamu.
Unajua nisipotuma salamu itakuwa shida mbele. Lakini tuachie tu kwa
but wiki zenu zimekuaje? Unajua we share an office space na wase, but tuambieni tu wiki zenu zimekuaje. Nimekuwa na a very long week kusukuma tu kwa editing nini, but nashukuru Mungu all is well. Yeah.
Wiki yangu mimi kwanza hata nimekuwa nikisumbuana na client fulani hapo.
Lipa watu.
Wiki nimekuwa tukisumbuana na client fulani hivi ya stories za payment, but apart from that wiki imekuwa fiti tu.
Website. Ile website.
Yeah, so you end up getting these ones in the tech industry where unapata umefanya kazi vizuri lakini ikifika kwa malipo shida zinaanza.
Si industry yenu peke yake by the way.
Yeah, so I think ni industry mingi za online specifically.
Freelancers.
Yes. Yeah, freelancers. Tunapata shida sana. Unafanya kazi and wakati wa malipo inakuwa ni shida, but we managed to sort that thing out and sasa hivi niko vizuri.
Sasa yuko mafutani.
So after show tumtafute. Msemo unasikia njaa? Atufike hivi.
kwa made.
Tuna udanya choma.
Eish, God of Jacob. I'm also here.
Kere hiyo ni jokes tu. Ni for the books tu.
Mimi wiki imekuwa poa. Kwa shule at least tulikuwa tunafunga this week. Wiki ilikuwa super busy. Tulipata chance ya kuwork alongside Mwandembe na Kemboy hapa.
Yeah,
with the closing ceremony, set up vitu kweli. Na nani pia alikuwa the guy behind the camera, Ray. Director mwenyewe. Yeah, it was good kuona vile aspect ya field yani inakuanga inani intrigue sana. But all in all, wiki imekuwa poa. Glad imeisha, tuanze another one, kusukuma tu day by day. Yeah.
Ubwe anafunza, see, this is not your ordinary school. Unajua unaongea na humility, but waambie si shule yenu.
Okay, so
it's a Nairobi school in Kericho. Chika ina make sense.
Okay, acha niwape. So niki recruited for the job, I was being recruited as a coding teacher. But with time roles ikaanza kuongezeka. Job title pia ikapanda, ikakuwa from coding teacher to head of ICT. And
specs ikakuja.
Specs ikakuja. Much ilikuwa imekufa before, but iko kuvumilia. The school iko hapa Chepkolon. It's tumefika grade 4 sai, still growing. And watu sema ni shule ya Nairobi iko Kericho. Ni ile tu tunajaribu.
What is the title of the school?
The Frontier Pioneer School.
Mona, the.
Ile double E.
TH.
Unaweza Google, ukipata kwa website hapo, ni mimi ndio niliunda.
Sorry, nilikuwa nimekukat short.
No, okay. Wiki yangu imekuwa eventful. And kwa industry yetu ya events, we want it as eventful as possible. It's been tumeenjoy, you know, when you are busy, when you are behind the camera. Leo nimewekwa mbele ya camera. This is not my estate really, but yeah, So my week has been very nice working alongside Frontier Pioneer na pia my colleague Mwandembe pale. So it's been nice and a few other projects here and there. It's been very interesting. Na tunaendelea tuna life kama kawa.
Mtanisamea sijaambia ni boss wangu.
No wonder umenyenyekea leo. Leo unaongea pole pole.
Shida huyu boy ni mwambo, so unasahau kama ni boss. So mtanisamea.
True.
Leo nimekam na nyinyi hapa ama niliwa request mkam kwa pod through our director to discuss stories at tech, like the growth of technology over and over time. No matter we have our tech guru hapa, our former tech guru. We alikuwa tech guru before tech alikuwa tech guru.
Let me just kusumbue kidogo hapo. You know, tech during our time was when I think tech was picking up. That is in the mid 2000s or in early 2000s, and it's not si kitambo sana, but maybe to some people it is. But the thing is, kitambo you could be msee umeiva tu typewriting, and people would easily confuse you for a tech guru just by the mere fact that you can type on a computer and you're very good with maybe going online. Kitambo back then kufungulia wase email was a big deal. Yahoo.com. I know you guys millennials hawa chensi hawajui maneno.
Watu wa Gmail wasiongee.
Watu wa Gmail kulikuwa na Yahoo Mail, then kukakuwa na Ymail, I think, Hotmail. Those were crazy days. Yeah, and then I think search engineer to that time. So you can see how far this has come anyway.
Your time inu mko mnatumia modems.
Yes, so now especially campus, and I think even just before campus, most of the cybers even downtown ilikuwa mostly menipeleka fire. When I remember those days, mazilikuwa naenda kwa cyber.
Around what years?
Yeah?
Around which years?
So kuanzia, I think my first experience here cyber, you know the normal cybers where it's just so many computers, and then computers see what you think now. It was a huge screen. Ikona the backside was so huge, yani. And then there was a CPU. Back then there was mnaitaje yenye imesimama?
Tower.
The towers. They were literally towers. Wachana na hiyo nafikiria.
I think niko nayo kwa nyumba.
Nazo kwa store.
Niko nayo kwa nyumba moja.
Yeah, it was huge towers. And then ilikuwa inakuwa on the side. And then at some point it was improved. Inakuwa mahali kwa chini na ficho unaona tu screen. Those screens were shady, man. Like hizo screens zilikuwa, I don't know, probably they were 90p. Probably you understand what that means. What? Maybe 144p. They were okay, ukiona sahi, but back then maze, as long as
you can see.
I even encountered screens that were still digital. Zile zenye hazikuwa fully colored. Yenye ilikuwa ni kaa una nini tu kidogo. Yeah, I encountered some in high school. That is in the early 2000s. And then there was the tower. Then the other one, the small factor one came, and they were very ilikuwa inakaa maze cyber iko na small factor, ndio hiyo ndio unataka kuishia. Now I think that was Pentium 2. Probably Pentium 3 zilikuwa zimeanza kuingia market. And then then they introduced so at first cybers hazikuwa hata na internet at first. I remember, yes, at first ilikuanga tu place unaweza enda utypewrite vitu zako nini. Then I think as time went by, party and nini introduce. And disclaimer, mi si mzee sana. I'm just saying experiences. Nilikuwa na grow up. Then I think internet was introduced at some point. Ama nilikuwa naenda cyber zenye internet, man. Me solo. No. But hapo chini kwa comments naweza ni correct mabeshta yangu wenye my age mates. Yeah, millennials. So anyway, so we would then they introduced internet at some point, but of course mazee ilikuwa very slow internet, and then there was this craze around probably 204, 205, 206, somewhere in there. Modems ikaanza kuingia. I think 207 is when modem was the big thing, and then now huge laptops zikaanza kuingia. Ungeza bebania wase wawili hivi.
But then nishaiona image ya hiyo kitu.
Hiyo laptop
ilikuwa ni ile briefcase inakuwa na budget ya Kenya. Hiyo ni la P like hiyo. So kidogo tu nikusimamisha kidogo to define terms. Unajua kuna a lot of guys when they're not tech. How do you those tech terms? Umesema Pentium. Pentium mtanisaidia ku define. Believe sijachapa sana. Pentium ni a series ya computer. So ni generation, so it's an upgrade of the operating. Is it the operating system or it's the operating system?
CPU.
The central processing unit. The CPU is the brain of the computer. So ni an upgrade. So zimeendelea hivyo. So sijafuatilia za Windows.
Core i9 now.
Core
i9.
Moja I think ni around 69.
Generation 14 ama?
14th
I think
zimeenda.
So zinaendelea kuja hivyo. But wengi wako na i5, i7. Alafu kuna amesema 90p. 90p ni clarity. Kama sahi most of the things that tunaonaga ziko 1080, we are moving to 4K resolution. So now 90p ni huko nyuma, 90p 144 to 40 inaenda ikikuja hivyo.
I think ukienda kwa YouTube uangalie any video, there's a selection hapo chini kwa quality, and you can look at them. So ukiangalia 144 na Eddie anaongelea kuhusu 90 utajua what is wrong.
For some reason ilikuwa very clear those days. TVs by the way, I think mtaayenu kama mlikuwa na 240p TV. Mazee lazima budeno.
Chukua tu pale Great Wall.
Hizo hazikuwa hata sijui kama bado zilikuwa kwa P series ama zilikuwa bila.
Kwa niseme ilikuwa imeandikwa tu P. 1P.
So hiyo ni ile time, hiyo ni 1P. Tulikuwa mbali but tunakuja. I wanted to say something nimesahau.
No, it's okay. I was trying to explain maneno ya cyber. So I was saying there was big laptops, and then now these huge laptops, they were bringing zilikam na issue ya. Of course, as tech goes, I think people are like, mazee, nataka kutumia internet, and then it was very rare to find even offices, which I see nowadays. Every office, every person is literally a working Wi-Fi. Then back then ilikuwa very hard, and I don't know even how internet used to be, because cabling is something nimesikia tu na sawa fiber recently. I don't know how they used to transmit internet back in the day, but I know there were towers. This is a
minara.
Is it satellites? There were masts around, and but it was just for the prestigious companies, the big companies. Area yetu maybe the tea companies, and a few parastatals in town in nini. So based just on that, you can see how hard it was. But in 2006, 2007, internet ikaanza kuingia, ikaanza ku trickle into the market. Then we had kama sasa modems, the ones you were asking.
So for context, a modem ilikuwa device kama flash drive. I hope flash drive umeona. Mazee usikoja hiyo na flash drive mpaka sasa. Okay, najua zimekuwa phased out.
Tumeanza kupotea.
Kuna vile Kembo anaitanga, unaitwa
Plightish. Maana unajua plightish ni nini?
Flash disk. Sasa ilikuwa kama flash drive, but on this other side inaingizwa SIM card. So unaweka SIM card yenye iko loaded na data, si ndio? Alafu sasa unaweza access sasa data. Unaweza access internet.
So I'm sorry. Kitambo there was no data.
Ni hiyo credo yako.
So ni credo. You used to load like cash fast. That is how it started. Natumia kama venye airtime tu. Then badala ya minutes, it's data inakata kwa modem. So you would load, for example, I remember ukitaka download movie, of course movies ilikuwa, I don't know, it was 120p or something. So they are very
144.
Then even downloading, I don't know even the bandwidth, man. Probably your bandwidth ilikuwa very low,
Hata
bandwidth
speeds.
utawaambia bandwidth, but let me just your trail of thought. Now because of the bandwidth, even if you wanted to download movies, it would take a whole night probably to download probably 60 MBs wait till morning. That's reality, man. Tumetoka huko cavemen. So, yeah, but over time it improved. I think wakati these tech companies na the telecos pia venye zilikuja zikakuwa nyingi. So first of all we started with Cancel. Was it?
Yeah.
It was Cancel.
Cancel.
Then I think the first modems were from Cancel. Then there was Safcom came in, and they came in really big.
Cancel ilianzia before Saf?
Yes, we had Cancel.
Kwa technology.
Yes.
But Cancel was already no, Safaricom was already existing pia at the time.
Was it?
Saf ilianza 2000.
2002 ama
2000.
Cancel was there before that, because I remember. In fact, let me just go back a little bit. I remember the first time I saw a mobile phone was in 1999. I think an uncle of mine had a mobile phone, one of the only phones probably in the entire village. So it was during holiday ya shule, because nimesoma tao kidogo, that's why accent si mbaya sana. And then I went to every holiday, like now watu hii wameenda kwa shosho, so that time it was us kwa tunaenda kwa shosho. Then there is one of my uncles who had a mobile phone back in either 98 or 99. Then ilikuanga tu Cancel back then, unless maybe someone in the comments can correct me. But I remember around 2001, 2 or 2 is when now Safaricom started getting into the market really strongly, because I think they came with I think they took time actually, as Nani unasema Said. I think they took time kuangalia where Cancel was going wrong, and then they came into the market and tried to fix some, like now they came with things we used to call tariffs. So tariffs ilikuwa from a certain time to a certain time, it's cheaper for you to call. So you choose your tariff based on what time do I make several calls. So unapata tariffs were there those days. Then I think eventually now is when they came up with the idea of by the kuliko wasa watumie pesa yao. Sometimes you buy, you just want to use it for minutes to just make phone calls, and then make a credo, of course, one
Kiboko.
kwa modem inakuchapa kiboko pesa inaenda. So they introduced story ya data bundle, sorry. So it's been something, probably we are a bit lucky as millennials to mona both sides of the world, because when I was even younger, like in the late 90s, probably mid 90s, phone yenye mimi nilijua kutumia even up to early 2000s ilikuwa telephone booth, even calling from anywhere to anywhere. So you can see how the tech world has really evolved over a very short period of time. And yeah, mazai kitu inanipeleka far. So I just have so many things to share about this side of tech and how it has grown, and how CC as millennials we've seen it grow. And by the way, as I was speaking about Safcom and Cancel, it can hit the new kid in the block now, Elon Musk, venye anafanya
mambo yake.
the industry sahi, yeah? It's, I can tell you guys, I've seen this happen before, like in the early 2000s, and now I'm seeing it happen saizi. Na it's good for us clients. It's a very healthy process where we enjoy things like good internet finally. And so yeah, you get the point, like where we've come from is really far. I've seen no internet, and then I've seen internet. I've seen no tech, and then I've seen tech. Yeah, and I've kind of enjoyed both worlds, one another.
Yeah. Again, let's go back, alafu tuanze kubreak hizo words. Kuna amesema bandwidth. Kuna bandwidth,
Yeah, bandwidth.
alafu kuna speeds. Bandwidth mtanisaidia. Bandwidth, my thinking is the amount of people who can use a certain internet within a period of, like, if kama sote tuko nne hivi tukiingia kwa internet speeds, if kama bandwidth yetu iko high it means we can enjoy high speeds at the same time, but kama iko chini tutateseka. And then kuna speeds, internet speeds pia zilikuwa chini hiyo time, maybe hata mlikuwa by the way hiyo time ilikuwa ni ma kbps.
I think it was actually I came to realize it was kbps because we would download, as I say, to a movie 50-40 MB would take a whole night, probably going into the next day, and that is hoping uko stima isipotea. I'm sorry, but yeah, Kenya hii issue ya stima imekuwa for far too long bana. Shouldn't be talking about blackouts even till date.
Tumesema 60 MB, nikakumbuka picha moja raw CR3 ama ARW, hizo ni formats za picha, like raw images, ni hiyo 60 MB.
And even if you go to the bigger cameras, this is the R series, unaweza pata hata up to 100. For example, if you use an A9 III from Sony, if you go whole out in, it's 100 plus MBs per photo. Now that was a whole movie at 2 hours.
You can imagine now.
Then mazee sijui nyose mlipata hii DVD ya 96 in 1.
At 96 in 1?
Yes, DVD kona 96 movies. I don't know if
it was ile DVD ambayo ilikuwa na kasha kubwa, alafu kunyuma na movie mingi.
Home Alone 1 2 3 4
in 1.
So ulikuwa unafungua hivi alafu una select yenye unataka,
so unaika ile kwa DVD yako alafu unaangalia.
Then iko na thumbnails ingi, so you would scroll whichever you want. I don't know if all of them ever worked really, because I think it was issues of ukisaidia mse DVD atume scratch DVD yangu mnaaniana na
basically wewe unachukua DVD so that you can
actually I used to have a friend alikuwa anakupeanga DVD na anakupeana ile kitamba ya clean including ile gel
fulani,
anakuambia mazo ukirudisha hiki tuka ime scratch. Talk of
those were hard times.
Wow. That was,
and I don't think CDs sijui mwisho niliona CDs ni lini,
but they zilivanish too.
They zilivanish kwanza, flash zilipoingia by the because you are looking at the even laptops hazina mahali pa kuweka
hakuna
a lot of
and then sasa bado kuna hiyo part ya amesema photo booth. Just watu wanajua tu booth zenye wanajua za kupiga picha. So photo booth telephone booth sorry, telephone booth yenye hiyo anasema ilikuwa ni ya Telcom. Mimi nikigrow tukitoka Nakuru tukikuja Costo tuliingia kumbuka kwa booth fulani hivi, mother akapigia mzae wakabonga, but it was maybe 2x2 2 feet by 2 feet, unaingia tu hivi unaweka coin hapo, alafu unapiga pesa yako, ikiisha inakata.
Now let me ask you, what color was the booth, if any of you ever?
Mimi nakumbuka
what color was it?
Ilikuwa yellow,
green and yellow.
Green and yellow.
Me, I didn't know.
So let me surprise you. Before green and yellow it used to be maroon.
What? Oh, you can sell sasa.
It was maroon.
What?
So green and yellow was a rebrand. That was like sasa when they were being phased out of commission. Then I don't know if you guys found sijui kama mlipata something ilikuwa inaitwa simu ya jamii. So it was the transition between telephone booth and mobile phones. Here's the thing. Ni mobile phone but ni kama ile booth. If you remember the other phones, the desk phones. So zilikuwa kwa street, if you want to call someone you have to know their number. Because at some point, remember, kuna wase washakuwa na mobile phones. The rest of the guys hawana. But if you want to call them, it's easy. So ilikuwa the same way right now. Safaricom, I think, used the same idea for M-Pesa. So ilikuwa kama kuna places tu unajua kuna simu ya jamii huku, kuna huku. So as when we were in high school, you could go to simu ya jamii, because now at that point maybe most of our parents walikuwa wamebuy Nokia 3310.
Mimi nilipata 1110.
No, there was Sagem or Sagem, I don't know.
Sagem Zayali baigi. Ilikuwa inawaka hivi. Something
and then ilikuwa very heavy. I remember that very well. Then it improved to and then ilikuwa na aerial, bro.
Signal ilikuwa ikipotea, wanafungua
zones za kucall. By the way, in one village you could find only one place. Kila mtu anakuja hapo, hello. Alafu ulikuwa unashikilia button ya red juu credo per second. I don't know if it was 25 Obama. So msama ameshikilia hivi, hello niko town. Hata ujui nani amenipigia kwa town shwari. So it was crazy like
ati niko to
na hata umwambie ni nani. And some people are still like that anyway.
Wamezoea.
wow.
But yeah, that was tech then in terms of telcos. Then so there was a whole shift which most of us millennials have lived through and enjoyed the even now, if you notice, most millennials are struggling with keeping up with social media because sisi tumewabebea mzigo mob man, like tumewabebea mzigo mob sana ya tech kutoka kwa Pentium all the way to Core i9 nini na ma M1 and Apple Silicon stuff. So it's been it's been a whole. We are a bit lucky to have been in the transitional period because you kind of enjoy both worlds. That's why I don't know if it's just us, but we normally say we are the most balanced generation in terms of si tumegrow up bila stima, bila tech, bila nini,
and then ikakuja
and doing all these things. But again, when we've grown up and in our 20s and the whatnots, we've been able to enjoy the modern tech.
And then there's generation Z, kuna sema Gen Z wenye hizo zone mnasema za kwenda kupiga simu ndo zone zetu za wifi. Tunaenda hiyo place, hiyo ndo zone yetu ya wifi.
Wasoma kama zombie place moja tu.
Wase wengi mbona kuna nini hapo?
Wenyewe washa
ni wifi.
Ethical hacker.
Hapana, I don't think those are even being hacked. Most of them ni mtu anajua password, alafu tu anakuja anapeana.
Technically that's because hujapewa vizuri. That's hacking technically.
Actually, there's a rule kwa hacking inasema it's not a rule per se.
Because actually hacking Wi-Fi requires something you have to have an adapter, like a wireless adapter, so that ukuwe na WLAN.
Yeah.
So and those adapters are not cheap. So ukiangalia mahali eti watu wanaenda hivi, it's really necessary.
One time and I saw the adapter. I think a guy from, was it NASA? Either NASA or FBI. They were talking about those cables if they wanted to hack into any huge system.
Yeah.
It's just a Type-C. Very recent. The Type-C cable. Anakupea tu. Then I think he had done like an orange thing. Do you know which is which? It's just a normal cable, but they will hack into your system.
I think inaitwa OMG cable, and it's being sold.
David Bombala alikuwa anafanya hiyo review. Ushamcheki?
Yeah.
It's almost like 2 million Kenyan shillings.
And okay, there are some which kuna company ndogo kama Hack5 which they actually sell them based on kama mtu unataka kufanya research.
Because I think the one I saw was like 20,000 US.
Those are like hizo ni governmental stuff zile za kwa kama nani, and those are really expensive. So you can even find an adapter here, wireless adapter ya kuhack Wi-Fi around maybe 34-35, but inakupa speed ya 5 MHz
gigahertz.
So megahertz.
Yeah.
So you can find them at cheap prices, I think, but Kenya nimejaribu kutafuta. I think sijaona. You have to import it.
Mbona unatafuta? Unapenda tu kujua.
No, okay, the reason is actually the
for educational purpose.
Research.
For educational purpose.
Yeah, you have to teach yourself how to use it. Ndo actually if you're going to a company and try unajaribu kuwasaidia, you have to know it. You know, so most of the side of hacking inatakaga practical.
Ndio maana anasema
but ni ethical.
But it won't make sense. Una cables juu ya 10k ukoje hack net ya 5 Mbps unaona? Tafuta tu mtu akusaidia wewe.
Yeah, and okay.
Ama ununua tu bana.
Weka net ya 10k.
Na hiyo 10k yako.
So unasema most of the time you will buy those to kufanya research, because if you are kama you are that black hat, because kuna kofia huko black hat, white hat, gray hat, so
also nkaila ataikuondoa lakini
exactly. So the white
size ni kofia.
Yeah, so
they were actually good to mention. I've heard these things being said, but I sijui kasi could take keen interest on them. So nikuwa sikia mtu anasema black hat, I'm like, Okay.
Yeah, so explanation ni Black Hat ni yule msembaya tu he doesn't yani anataka kuwork for distraction,
personal gain.
and then the White Hat
The Blackwalker
Mngekuwa na hiyo hat tungesema ni hiyo hat.
So White Hat ni hawa sasa security researchers wanaenda, they find things, they report, they have good intention, and then the Grey Hat yuko hapo katikati. Leo anaweza amka ajisikie
hata opportunity
nafanya mbaya. Leo anaweza amka, so it's that.
Baadhi hamjanilipa, acha niwaonyeshe.
Hamjanilipa nyinyi,
wacha niulize wale wa Mulot ni Black Hat.
Others are Black Hat. Mulot ni Black Hat. They do swim swapping, they steal money, they are Black Hat.
Watu wa Mulot tunawashauri out. Nothing serious. Sikose account kesho.
Wasihaka account.
Yeah.
Sikose account bwana. Alisema anaitwa nani?
Umesikia
account imeenda.
Jokofu kidogo umepata Gmail
paka personal account nashangaa unadaiwa bank. We. So kuna black, white, red.
No, those are in terms of teams.
Hizo ni
so
teams.
Kuna offensive, which is the red team, the blue team, and the purple team. But hii huwa tu ni character because kwanza in fact mi sipendagi kuitumia. Kwa nini? A black hat hacker in one place anaweza kuwa white hacker in that place. Let's say sasa sisi Kenya we have a battle with Tanzania. So sisi hackers wetu huku tunaona kama white hat, but Tanzania they are considered as black hat. Yeah. Unaona?
So depending on which
depending on, so I don't like using those terms even. Yeah.
Though pia mtatusamea tumeanza kuingia deep. Though pia ukikuwa specific sana utakuwa limited pia na the tools zenye unatumia. The tools za white hat ni different na za nini. Only that unafaa kuwa una think sasa kama the other party. Nikawe ni karao, una think sasa kama mwizi wenye ni same thing tu. Yeah.
But I think vile amesema the best way to go to ni kujita ethical.
Yeah, ethical because kama wewe una nia nzuri, you just do it for the purpose of helping.
Utapata na black hat unaambia wewe ni black hat. Unaambia mimi ni white hat. Kwake yeye ni white hat.
Because I think first of all we are going to that age of the next wars hazitakuwa za maybe guns and whatever. It will be just people sitting on computers hacking. I think Kenya we experienced that with anonymous Sudan. Mnakumbuka ile wakati wa e-citizen was DDoS and all that stuff. So that is the next generation of warfare. So the cyber warfare, and it's something African as a continent we've not talked about it. Hatujakaa tukaongelea sana. Sisi tuna mambo mengi kwanza. Wacha tuweke zile
mimi wana kitu tumelalisha sana ni security ya tech.
Yeah, so and
people take it lightly. Unapata
kidogo tu before uendelee. Just hold your thought. Amesema ilikuwa I think last year, si ndio?
I think was it last year the anonymous Sudan.
Hiyo nini ya Sudan amesema DDoS inamaanisha distributed denial of service, which inamaanisha like a citizen at the time people couldn't access it. So it is a distributed attack, like kila msee kwa on the other side haezi access kitu juu the central pool imekuwa cut off from everyone. That's because the whole data inakuwa centrally placed, then each other branch inachukua from there. So if I get to the central database, central database ni kama the central file system na ni hold kila kitu hapo, every other person atakuwa attacked.
Like servers or something.
Like the central server. Simple way, like let's say unaenda kwa supermarket leo, unaona so mimi wewe just as three we are legal buyers. Sisi tunataka kwenda supermarket kununua kitu, unaona. But tukifika pale kwa entrance we find 100 people there, but those 100 people they don't want to do anything, wako tu hapo kwa supermarket. So sisi ambao tunataka kununua vitu kwa supermarket we cannot access the supermarket. So that's basically what a distributed denial of service is. So unapata these fake people trying to access a website, so the wale wase legitimate hawawezi access. Kama bots hapo mbele zimezuia, and sasa server inakuwa overwhelmed because sasa haiwezi, inashangaa
so unajaribu kunini na kwa nkad
there's a lot of traffic hapa. Kweli.
Yeah. Now ulikuwa unasema
sorry by the I'm the least tech savvy person.
Na hiyo history yote.
No, but I have an idea. I have an idea because spending time with tech people nimekuwa kama apprentice wa watu wa tech. Yeah, so I know one or two.
Back in the day Ed alikuwa mnoma. Back in the day unajua mse alikuwa na run cyber. Ukirun cyber by the time si tulikuwa I think tulikuwa Raima amani.
Yeah, so this is a story back then. Sorry. Okay. When we were in campus, okay, so when I went to campus in Uganda. So nilipofika pale
insert Ugandan accent.
So when I reach Uganda,
Mwandika hapo na subtitles ya yellow. Speaks Ugandan.
Jebare banyabo na basebo.
Speaks Ugandan.
Mutaweka subs eh?
Speaks local dialect.
Should I muko na subs? Okay. So anyway, when I went to college, unajua as usual umefika, you've adapted, then of course unaanza kupata by the diary yangu maybe niko na classes let's say on Monday, then maybe the next class is Tuesday afternoon. So we had a lot of time in our hands. We do sports na bado we have more time in our hands. So some friends walikuwa wamefungua cyber, so I went in and kind of started working with them. And I think that was even more or less the beginning of my journey towards being like a tech apprentice. And so we used to kind of run the cyber with these guys because they were also my neighbors and they were classmates.
Around what years?
Huh?
Around what years?
Around?
What years? Miaka gani?
Oh, that was 2008. 2008. Yes.
Class.
Yeah.
Class what?
2008 kuna mtu amezaliwa ndo ana watch sasa hivi.
Nazaini adults. Yeah. So we used to run with them, so I would help with the when they had excessive work in terms of typing, saa zingine helping people in the cyber, because saa zingine our classes, because one of the guys I think was doing marketing, the other guy was doing HR, but me I was doing accounts, so BCom accounts. So sometimes because at some point we started specializing, kuna units yenye ula anafanya ufanye, there are some common units tunafanya faculty of business. So the other, sometime it would just be, I'm alone there and you have to help people. So we had some other friends who were from IT, they would come and show us one or two things. And this is where the modem comes in, because we were using one modem and then we had done like an old router to split the internet to each other. Like, but now cyber
Munagawa
used to be
kilobytes.
like, there used to be like maybe five computers. No, not 5, let's say 10, but only maybe 3 zile zenye zina access net. And then we used to have like 50 cent per minute.
Ilikuwa wakati sieta ilikuwa ni hub, I think.
Yeah?
Ilikuwa si router, ni hub.
By then ilikuwa hub.
It was a hub. Routers zimekuja juzi tu.
But technically I call it a router because the hub would distribute more the internet to all of the rest of the system.
The concept of wireless internet was not existing. Ndio maana kuwa na wifi.
So technically we were using wireless in terms of
the wireless
modem. However, from there everything is cable. You know, Cat 6, RJ45. Utawaambia hiyo ni. So anyway, Cat 6 ni a cable very specific for transmitting internet. RJ45 is the execution point ya kuingia kwa computer. Ndio? Yeah. So sikujua hata najua hizo vitu. Look at you. So back then in 2008 we had that Kasaiba, and then when I came back after college, we were kind of running with some few friends. We started business. You know, when you finish campus and uko hapo stuck between am I getting a job, am I going into business? So you are trying everything out. Mimi nilikuwa na calling to your business anyway, because mimi kukaa ofisi ilinishinda, that's the truth. So we started with some friends, pia tu tulimaliza nao same time campus. Alan na Shrek. So tukaanza a small shop ilikuwa inaitwa Inkdrop Technologies. That was in 2012. 2012, yes. Hapa tutao. Then so then we started the Inkdrop Technologies. We give you tech solutions. But now Arnold was the tech guru. In terms of software nini, that is Shrek. Then Alan was very good with hardware because he was an electrical engineer. Mwenye alikuwa JKUAT. Then alikuwa very good with hardware. So we were kind of balanced. So I was the black sheep in that. Mimi ndo msakutafuta. Mimi ndo msawa business. So I'm looking for club. But I was very good with graphic design. And if you remember most cyber sport nafanya hizo vitu. Graphic design, nini, web design. So wasakutaka kunda web, hey, maze tuundie tu logo, please, with a transparent background. Naambia, say no.
Say no, I got you.
Corel ndo sa hiyo. Yeah, so it's been a very... that time, I was also doing typewriting. We had like a corner ya kuuza movies. And then at some point, a bit later on, we did a merger with a friend called Barry. He had a cyber called, I know it's very common to Kerisho people back then, called it Blisters. So we did a merger, Inkdrop and Blisters. And then now we did, hapo sasa tulikuwa tumeingia full on tech. Ilikuwa big team, including Clarin, Dennis. We were just a lot of guys there. Kina Maya, Nani. So we had a cyber and then we had like assigned roles to everyone. Everyone had a desk. So we had converted one side of the cyber. Ikakuwa tu desk ya kila mse. With all this nini ya kugawa, boards and stuff. So I would do the graphic stuff. Another person would be doing hardware. Unapata wasa wamefungua makompo, matumbo yote ya computer iko nje. Hata unashinda wenyewe wasema tarudisha hiki tu ifanye ama imeenda hivyo. Yeah, then we would also have clients when walikuwa wanataka vitu kama POS, hospital management system. And that is how now I was telling you, I was very involved with tech savvy people, and it was like apprenticeship. And I got the opportunity to understand tech more and all these tech linguals and things like that. Then I think at some point, because of doing a lot of websites, and this is now another parallel story of photography inakuja kupatana hapa sasa. That is when I branched out to doing purely photography and graphic design. So I branched out on my own, and I think Arnold as well went purely hardware on his own. But we were still kind of together because whenever someone was stuck, nataka pictures a website, I just go and sort you out. Just tell the client, this is, now this is growing up. Adulting, you're starting to notice, by the way, I can do this on my own. This guy can do this other thing on their own. And we can still work together without really having to car place more, And it was a pathway to growth of, the entire group is really, everyone is doing their own thing. They're doing okay. I hope I am. So everyone is okay now and they're in their own fields. We do meetups. We have WhatsApp group. It's very old for Gen Zs to say that. But we, by then I go Facebook. So me seems this.
Majaribu.
But we very strong on Facebook back then. There was no other
social media.
Should I talk about how Facebook came into the play?
By the way, ilikamaje? Time inakuja si tulikuwa high school. Hiyo time ndo ulikuwa unapata msee anajita
Jipatia jina za kizungu zote.
Kericho Bay. Hizo ndo majina zile.
So let me tell you something, guys. I hope I won't take so much of this episode. However, going back kidogo, first of all, there was a big craze of people opening emails. Everyone had like a email, and then you were so excited, you open your email, you have a inbox from, we won't say who, but yeah. So unapata ka email, you are so happy, you feel like umefikiria nika ile kupata letter high school. Maze pale assembly inasoma. Kelvin Langat, mimi ni nani?
Rudia paragraph 1.
So anyway, we would have, it was that craze of Yahoo Mail. In fact, I have a Yahoo Mail. Nilifungua the year 2000. In the year 2000, yes.
Let me interrupt you. Yahoo Mail inafanya hadi leo?
I think nilifunguanga
very good,
just
actually.
for fun.
It's very good. I use it for most of my official stuff.
Because I know my sister's email is something at Yahoo.
Yes, I have a Yahoo Mail. Enyadi anything ya gava natumianga Yahoo. I don't use Gmail. because Gmail, you all know, it's prone to change
Yeah,
name.
I think
but you know,
it's-
because no one cares about us, watu wa Yahoo, sisi mtu acha
By
tu
the
kona.
from a security point, I feel like it's safer. Due the fact that not so many people know it, kind of makes it safe.
No,
Somehow.
actually,
Sini watu wa
But wanasemaga
Outlook.com.
security is not security.
Actually, if you're going to choose an email, especially kama if you want to choose this type of secure emails, I will tell you not to go for Yahoo and Gmail because Yahoo,
Watu wa
in fact,
Outlook.
Yahoo walipata one of the largest, I think they have one of the largest data breaches back then. Kitambo, I think 3 billion emails were leaked. So, but vile technology may increase, nani anasema, we find that people have been so cautious. And,
Yeah, but again, it depends on how you're using your email.
Yeah.
Most of the things kama ya Gava, you know, when email came, it was more or less to replace postmail.
yeah, and
So that it doesn't have to be physical. Ati barua unatumiwa na kampuni, unatumiwa LPO, unaenda posta every 2 days kucheck kama LPO ya kazi imeingia. Then you reply with let me say what a invoice. Then you have to wait. So now things have become easier because of mail. And that, I think majorly by the businesses ndio zina driving growth in tech. Because when we have where we have shortcomings is where we businesses mostly wanatafuta solutions. And those solutions are what are driving the tech industry. Because if it were social, that's why there's social media. You'll notice that social media doesn't improve so much over a long period of time. But if you look at other, let me say, tech solutions, there are things that evolve day and night in terms of security,
Kila siku.
in terms of vitu kama UI,
User
interface. We're always trying to improve it. Ikuwe easy for mimi mwenye si tech savvy. So that when I get into YouTube, for example, it's just a one-pager thing. I just go through videos because hiyo ndio imenileta hapo. You go to Instagram, it's just pictures. You go to TikTok, it's just short videos. So I think businesses in a drive, because even now social media businesses zinategemea, even our own businesses zinategemea social media more for marketing, even more than doing things kama billboards. And squeezy hazina effect unless you are doing a billboard and ni digital. But going back to ile ulikuwa umeniuliza, so we did Yahoo Mail. The first social media, I don't know if anyone of you knows, ilikuwa gani?
I remember it, and kuna also there was a breach on that. I usually mi huwa nazisomaga sana. So it was ilikuwa gani?
So the name is To Go.
Yeah, niyo.
That's the one we started. By the introduction of social media, and in fact just before that, you know, again you needed a device that could get into,
Access
could
the
be able
internet.
to access that sort of service. Now there was again another point where there was a transfer from the old phones, the mulikas of that time, to the smartphones. So the first smartphone Mimi personally I encountered was one that was called was it Ideos?
Ideas.
I think Ideos came. It was like a tiny phone, but all screen, only one button. Three.
Kushika, kukata
Actually, there
na-
were five. So there was ya kushika phone, kukata.
the straight one.
Then hapa juu kulikuwa na ya back na ya enter. Enter katikati.
Si
And then it
ilikuwa
came in
na
colors bana. You have a yellow phone.
a pink one.
Yellow, pink, blue. Mademo kona pink hapo kadogo. Mbona tembea na mzigo saa game hapa?
Hapo ukiona hiyo simu siweni
Hapa mtaani bana.
hapa mtaani hakuna mtu
Haiwezi tosha kwa mfuko ni hapa.
Yeah. And then now the Motorola's came in around that period. It was time ya Motorola because Nokia walilalia masikio kidogo wakabaki kwa zile the older phones.
Ngoja. The oval Motorola ilikuwa na net. Haikuwa na internet.
No. There was Motorola like V3. There was C168. There was which other Motorola tunapotea? Mazina mimi si mzee sana. Disclaimer ibaki hapo. Yeah, but C130s and C118s were not digital. They were tunazita roll-on because they were tiny phones and then they were bulb heads, so inakaa roll-on kabisa but ilikuwa na blue screen.
Yeah.
So if your phone could light blue, you are the cool guy. But by the shout out to Nokia maze. Hiyo game ya snake ilitulea. Bila hiyo hatungekuwa. Patience, ilitufunza patience.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we started having this social media. It was inaitwa to go. However, I could not even chat with you. It was just you can himself go and try something. So it used to be in regions. So I think they were using towers. You see now the way you make a WhatsApp group. I think your group was like I think it was using towers to decide who would be in this. So there was one for Kericho.
Ama kama ilikuwa inatuma vile internet relay chats.
Yeah. So there was one for Rift Valley, then there was one for like Kenya. There was one, then it started going down to like, let's say Nyaga. Unaanza kuona so I think someone made a group Nyaga. So mnapata wase kama so as from this side of Midwest. Unaweza pata kuna renda ya Midwest. But hata I don't know how I can't remember how you needed to. I think you would just go somewhere and try and search. Or you wait for someone to chat and then wanatuma nikaka link. But it was just shady stuff. It was just chatting and there's nothing really. And then you are assigned a color. It was a cool thing. You choose me nataka maybe brown. So I couldn't use black. Because green is black. So I choose white instead. Unfair sana. So anyway, moving from that, I think now Facebook was coming in. Facebook hit the ground running. Facebook. Bro,
because of the chats, kupok.
So, kupok.
Shanga, Jobu poked you.
You're like, so, so Facebook came in with a bang.
Before Facebook, kuna ile ingine share alikuwa anasema yenye sijui unaandika articles. Ilikuwa inaitwaje?
WordPress. So you write articles and share it to your friends, but it was
by the way,
mail too.
Yeah, for real.
So you had to have mails.
It started out as just mambo ya kuandika article. Ndio sasa ikakuja ikakuwa CMS. Whether it's true. Ilianza hivyo.
So ilikuwa WordPress. WordPress up to date.
It was meant actually for blog.
Check it out, yeah. It was more or less blog.
Kuandika articles na kupost. But siku hizi wameongeza hizo e-commerce. They brought a lot of things.
I can't remember. There's a thing that came in between Facebook and which one came next? Instagram, yeah. There was one thing in between them. I can't remember the name. Haiko hit the ground running. People just joined and they're like, inabo. So Facebook was the big thing. The way TikTok is now. It was a big thing up in the 2010s, man. Without Facebook.
I think Facebook iko na users wengi.
But it may evolve. I mean,
it evolve.
Groups. Even the UI, it was very poor. I mean, so
still is.
Let's say they're working on it.
The only problem one I have with Facebook is the profiles. Hizo profile picture, I don't know, it's very different uingie Facebook na uingie kitu kama Instagram. You just feel umepelekwa another dimension.
That's one good thing.
Bado iko na pesa, like iko na traffic.
Yeah, actually
most
what
traffic I think nashuku iko.
They make money. So unajua especially hizi ads kama unataka kupromote vitu zako, you usually end up kutumia Facebook at some point.
But I think that's one good thing, a bad thing with tech. Like it always evolves. Like the good thing in evolve to a point where you now Facebook hiyo kitambo na Facebook sahi something different. Even Instagram before and sahi before it was like a modernized Facebook. It was like a different Facebook. Watu walikuwa tu wana post. But looking at what it is sahi, even the marketplace and how mtu anaweza tumia kunini business yake, it's an evolution. But the bad thing tena ni as tech guys na video keep up na kila kitu.
But then it's tough. It's not
alafu the tech world is so wide, unajaribu ku keep up na hardware ina upgrade, ukijaribu keep up na software ina upgrade.
Yani ndio maana huwa nasema at least specialize. If you are like a graphic designer na photography, hapo angalia vitu zako zinazoona. Because ukisema unaenda to the whole, because you'll find kama especially kama ni languages, maybe unasema unajua languages 5. Hizo 5 each and every day kuna kitu inaongezeka.
By the way, kuna kitu inaongezwa and then now there's AI imekuja, then
AI now is,
inapeleka
my
watu
opinion
take
is the
mbio.
epitome. Okay, for now something else will always come.
Funny enough, mi nikiingia fresha, nakumbuka tuliendaga seminar ya Blaze, si ndio? Tukiwa fresha, tulisoma same campus na Saido. So tukienda fresha tuliendaga seminar. Mi nikaingia nini ya IBM ya Blaze. Mi nikaingia IBM. Na nakumbuka the time tulikuwa tunaongelea AI. AI will come. AI will come. And this is what AI will come and this is what you are looking at nini. Then all of a sudden AI
I think
imekuja.
it picked up in 2022 where ChatGPT
Wakati watu walikaa home.
Kwanza 2021 COVID ni kama mtu alikaa
Walipolita
tu
tu
kwa nyumba.
ChatGPT, now AI became
it was the
relative
big
now.
thing in market.
And it's very interesting how it's improving
Every day.
In fact, recently I was designing a poster for some use, and I prompted. I actually used an image that was prompted of a pet, but it was so realistic. But somehow you could see, okay, it's not 100%.
Yeah.
But I think that is what the person wanted, because with poster it's representation. It's not the real thing sometimes. And you could see what AI has done. I'm like, hii ilikuwa inabidi kitambo niende nipige picha dogi alafu nikuje sasa maybe Corel nikuje niunde ikae a bit
Animated.
almost animated, and then I have to add things here and there and nifanye all those things. Nowadays just type what do you want. Just type
By the way,
image in a
you look
file.
at image creators kama Midjourney.
Midjourney,
They just bring something inakaa tu, you're like this one it could take me hours.
Because hata ile kitu alikuwa anaongelea like UI, ukiangalia the story of Steve Jobs when Apple was coming up, your time a computer the interface ilikuwa una type on a black screen with green letters.
Oh, so it was like a terminal.
Yeah, like a
Oh,
terminal.
that's the one I was telling you.
Yes.
I used
So,
actually.
ulitumia hiyo?
Yeah.
Kama
Black
I
screen
think
and green
if we have the Linux guy bado wako huko.
But Linux bado
Napenda
tuko
hiyo.
somehow bado tuko
Bado wako
huko.
huko.
Tunakuja tu.
If you wanted like to open Chrome, inabidi like there was a command and then you enter Chrome
enter,
and then you enter. Ndio unafinya enter inafungua.
Inaitwa
And
kuna ilikuwa command based menu. Hii yenye mnatumia sasa hii ni icon based. Graphic based. Alafu kulikuwa na menu driven interface.
So you had to uelewe those codes of what you needed to prompted ndio ufungue kitu, but now looking at how we've transitioned to now the user interfaces, and inaendelea ku even get easier and easier for watu wenye waelewi tech. And now with AI coming in, kila kitu inakuwa tu easier.
Yeah, sure.
But for tech guys inakuwa harder because inabidi tu una learn hii unakuwa kidogo umeshika AI.
Actually for me I think AI ni kama booster. It's like a steroid.
Big time.
Yeah,
Big
sure.
time.
Usiniambie hutakuwa na skill ya kitu unataka kufanya and then you're just going to AI. No, it's like kama vile wewe sasa hivi wewe ni graphic designer. Mimi si graphic designer. Even if I do a prompt, itanipea vitu zangu nyingine, but you
personally, for me I feel like it will be like a source where you can get ingredients for what you want to do. Very easily.
Very easy, yeah.
Unajua kitambo
flashbacks.
Kutafuta image ya kuunda poster ilikuwa noma.
Juu ulikuwa na prompt Google directly. Now you prompt ChatGPT.
So if you wanted to do like a nice poster, you had to be really good with graphics. Thank you to Corel X3. Sijui ni software hata iliundwa the year 2000 and what.
You're right, AI ni kama booster. Kitu napendea it in a specify, yani the more you use it the more it gets to know you. So anytime you prompt it itakupatia something specific to you. But if Jobu a login kwa laptop yake na prompt the same thing mimi nimeprompt, itampatia something specific to him.
Yeah, that's why ukienda kwa ChatGPT I think there's a memory update because inajaribu kuangalia ni nini uliuliza which maybe inaweza kukujibu hii swali uliuliza.
So inajua jina lako, what you always ask, kenye umekuwa kiambenga no not this, so enough it keeps that. So
typing inaandika hapo hi ed. Nimeingia tu I'm like ama kuna mtu anajua natumia back end huko.
It's so interesting. But then ulikuwa umeshaanza kutueleza story venye nayo you are incorporating AI to your field, which is graphic design and film work. Me personally, kama as a young filmmaker.
Also, yeah,
As a young filmmaker, imekuwa ikinisaidia juu kiprompt ChatGPT, because ChatGPT now ina search the engine on your behalf, like inakusaidia kufilter because you log in with your account. Now it gets to learn about you, so it somehow it's a filter. Inakusaidia kureply a lot of emails. Nakumbuka nikimalizia my first degree, ilinisaidia kutengeneza two of my websites. So ilikuwa very very resourceful. I don't know, I would love to hear which ushaanza kutueleza like inakusaidiaje in your graphic design field. Juu nakumbuka kitambo ulikuwa unasema you have to wait for an LPO every 2 days. LPO is a local purchase order, which is something you get back from like the company tells you, we expect these services, these are the services we want from you. Because initially umewatumia there's something that you send the company first in unawaambia these are the services I offer. They get back with an LPO, this is what we want from you, and then you get back with an invoice after the delivery of the service. Sender, I'm getting the steps right.
Yes.
So now how is it like?
So is it the process? The companies,
No, like generally now as a graphics designer
mostly,
and a filmmaker.
Where I was just saying mail was used. Most of these things you're talking about will go on foot. So you would literally go office to office. But nowadays, I remember even one of the companies I've worked with for long, at some point they used to carry, like you would do like a physical invoice, take to a specific office. Once you finished the service, then they take it to another office. So they used to have like a pickup to take invoices to and fro different offices so that they process. But now everything has gone digital. That's what I was telling you again. It's very interesting how it has gone. But in terms of what I do, which is kind of the same process I've gone through, is in terms of graphic design or film work. For instance, if I need to do a documentary for a company, I do a storyboard or a script of what I want to do, and then I might go and improve it using AI like ChatGPT, and I just tell it, can you maybe do like a 6-minute, maybe the client tells you I want a 6-minute video, you can go now and put everything you have. As you said, it has learned what I want. So it tells me for 6 minutes, this is the storyboard. So the storyboard will be like,
based on your taste.
So the storyboard will be like opening with a very nice drone shot,
montage,
green lush teas, nini, and then maybe it tells you the voiceover. Hata sijamwambia I want to do voiceover, because I've always done voiceover. They'll give even a script for the voiceover and all these things. So I won't have to waste a lot of time telling my client, wait, I come up with a script for the voiceover, nini. But because it has learned what I do, and you can see the kind of companies I work with are kind of similar, so it sticks to a certain script. That's why when you watch my videos, you might notice that they have kind of a similar script of how it flows. So AI has really helped, not really just in terms of flow, but because you have, but again, where the caveat is the way AI works, you really have to explain everything, like explaining it to a child.
True.
And then tell it, now make that thing very professional. So you see, because you have to know what to tell it so that it knows what it needs to give you.
That's why
so
I was
that as
saying,
people think it's easy just telling it, nataka script naenda kufanya video ya Emmanuel ABC.
Utapewa.
Haitakupa script the way you expect. You have to be very specific with a lot of
actually it's called training the AI.
Training the AI.
And that's why I was saying lazima ukwe skillful with that industry that you're in.
Before you
before uende upeane ma prompt hapo. Lazima ukwe. By the way, I think you guys should be, sasa hivi tunajua that there are people called prompt engineers. Mtu unalipwa so that the prompt that you give that AI ikuwe more valuable. Yani kama vile unasema lazima uko na hiyo skill ya graphic design. Ujue ni vile, yani wewe umeshaifanya for a while. So you have to know the visions. So ukipea ChatGPT chenye anakupea like this is kind of what I want.
Prompt engineers.
Again, in terms of now that's film. In terms of when you go to now the side of graphic design, like now you are saying Midjourney. So I tried using Midjourney kabisa. I tried to learn it, and maybe I wanted to create for me specific images, because sometimes those images I take naeka kwa Blender the software then I have to animate, but you see imenifupishia kazi ya kutoka all the way from drawing na maybe ninachora na sipati picha. I'm sorry, sipati picha no pun intended. Yeah. So maybe sipati picha vizuri venye nataka, but you see with AI you can tell it no, hiyo macho ya hiyo simba ni kubwa sana, reduce, inakureducia, you do this, you do that. So within maybe a fewer minutes than it would have taken you to draw, because I can draw from scratch. Yeah, it's okay, I can draw, but the amount of time it takes is longer. So I think AI is going to, as you said, it's like
a booster.
Steroids. Alafu inakuharakishia the process of maybe for like graphic design is a very wide field. You have to do a lot of things, including but not limited to posters, business cards. They can generate for you 3D stuff. But I'm sorry, I'm a bit old school. Me, I prefer doing everything from scratch. That is what people are worried about me. Like, umso utampea kazi at overdo. I take 3 days. I'm like, it's better 3 days iko perfect than I take 1 day and give you a shot.
And before ni move kwa Kevo, but how did you have portfolios back then? Ulikuwa uko na CD kwambia sasa uko na ile kitabu ya CD. So kitambo kulikuwa na book ya album, picha. Najua nyinyi wote hapa mko nayo, but sijikanye mlikuwa na like there was when you say tunashezo album kwa Google, ati nitumie album. Kitambo it was a physical book that had physical photos. So kulikuwa na ingine ya CDs. So ulikuwa na hiyo page 5 utapata niko na video nilifanya. Mlikuwa mko na portfolio aje?
In terms of the field now. So first of all, I've had that album. I think it's somewhere in the house still date.
Your videos?
Yeah, videos, but I had like different ones. Kulikuwa na ya movies. And probably most of you know me how I operate from A to Z. So ka movie ni, let's say Alkamar, it will be the first one. The second one is Bundo Teach movie. That is the one I would go hivo, because if you want to look for a movie utashinda seme sina na iko tu mahali unapatana. So there was that one for movies. It was like a book in a album kama ile photos, but unaweka CDs and DVDs.
Hiyo ni Netflix ya kitambo.
Hiyo ni Netflix yetu sasa. It was Netflix, you just scroll up. Na hakuna kusearch. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa shida. Your search is so physical. Then in terms of clients wa film ilikuwa very difficult because during that time, yes, you have it in a DVD nini, but you see sometimes you had to call your client akuje cyber ulipie 20 bob, mkae chini uweke tu DVD mbili, na mtu wa cyber anakuambia wewe usiweke vitu hapo italeta virus,
usineke virus.
So you'd have to be very careful. Maybe ni based on cyber, then you just go and use. And then there were, I think around that time is when TFTs came, the flat screens now. Zikaanza introduce the LCDs. Then you would show your client your work kidogo, and then they'd be like, si mbaya, wewe kuja Saturday mulika sisi tamalizana Monday. So yeah, it was an entire process back kidogo, but I think by the time I was doing most professional film work, it was I didn't start with events. I started which is so weird. I started with corporates. So corporates was easier. You could just go with your own flash drive, then you go. Now because film I started a bit later, where I started with photography, then now I nikaingia film. So by the time I got into film, at least tech was catching up. But photos I delivered in DVDs so much. And then we used to print DVDs with a picture. Mazolikuwa kufanya hiyo kitu. Wewe utakuchua every day of your life.
Kuna hiyo picha moja uliwapiga.
No. And then there was two. There was one for a sticker, and then there was one that the actual DVD ilikuwa inakaa hivyo. Na iko kwa ile Epson printer. Na kuprintia tu hivi. Mazee kitu tulikuwa ukiteliva client anakuambia
hizo ni za harusi.
Wewe sema bei. Za harusi
zilikuwa
maybe funerals pia and events. But that was pictures. Na pia videos. Some of our colleagues used to do that, but now tech came in, we started delivering in flash drives. Now we are off anything hardware. It's just
takutumia link
utantumia link lini? Yeah, so
by the way, nata nilishangaa was it juzi ya majana hadi ocha by the way wasa walikuwa zile za picha tapataje link sawa. Mimi nilikuwa na expect azme
hiyo ni nini
watu walikuwa receptive because okay this is nice.
Systems are
and I think
we
catch up now.
should be proud of our country.
Kenya is doing
outside this country.
We go to our neighbors hapa. Sisi tuko sawa.
But I feel ni kama the younger generation ndio wanasukuma that
Chelsea.
And it's a good thing.
juu anakuja pale anaona wote ni machenzi, hakuna mtu hapa hivi anaweza ni print ya picha yangu anaambia tu ni link sawa tu basi
tumia WhatsApp.
wewe WhatsApp
tunafaa tukue very proud in terms of technological advancement as a country. We are tumejaribu. See I think we are being called the Savannah Silicon.
Savannah Silicon.
So we are very tuko sana.
Amesema sorry. Kuna sema?
No, I was just saying it's very coming from using a telephone booth, the distance all the way to using an iPhone 15. Ukiangalia wase you're like the time difference is kind of long, but when you think of it you're like, so in the next, if I use the same number of years, like 20-year difference, you're like, where? So in like 2045, 2050, kutakuwa aje, like the future is really interesting.
Before I define the terms umetumia, there was also kulikuwa na a research walikuwa nasema the amount of years I think that we have taken from zero tech to the tech that we are in, the AI generation, ilikuwa way shorter than the amount wali take from huko kuanzia Stone Age paka waka invent fire. Walikuwa nasema the amount take, like if you are to compare hizo generations mbili juni almost nini za kucompare, ours is extremely small kabisa.
Ni ukweli.
Extremely small.
But like I said,
as you guys said, the way AI in 2022 haikuwa. We're in 2024 and AI is everything. Like everything. 2 years and the job it does, man. It's really, like it's just incredible. Like you just wonder. It's like the more tech you have, the faster now. Ni kama an engine that is getting ever faster.
I think I think there's this AI, I don't know if it's already released, the Sora, which was just creating videos out of prompts.
Out of nothing.
They were just realistic.
So the caveat to that was it is still in the development stage.
It's better.
So the problem is right now bado unajua ijaanza the process of learning very from vast demographic. Like now, I might tell it, by the way, create for me a video of a bird doing something here and there, and then you notice that it's different from. It will make very weird videos. It will be a bird that looks like a person. But I just because I saw the first few videos that were done by some of our colleagues from Canada and these other countries, US, UK. They tried it and haikuwa inatoa poa. Then you would see kwanza uiambie 4K. I think the back end now was struggling as well, because if at the same time 1 million people told you make more for me, let me say 8K videos, kila mtu anataka kutoa 8K video then maybe a down sample to 4K ndio ikae poa. That's a whole process of videography, but you would notice that one what a struggle. So I think when cut off at 1080p, the normal HD, then I think they are now going to 2K, and then they'll do. I think they've done 4K by now. So by the time I was interacting, I was like, wacha niachane nayo. Ishika line ya back. 2 years.
So alisema TFT screens ni thin film transistor technology. Hiyo ni hizo screens za kitambo. Alafu kuna LCD, liquid crystal display. So ni hizo screen tu za kitambo, hizo za comp zinaweza kwa natumia. Zilikuwa flat. Ni flat. Ile ya kitambo ya mgongo ilikuwa ni cathode ray. Ilikuwa a whole complicated thing. But again sasa umesema hivyo stories za AI nikakumbuka kuna hiyo nini fulani. Now that AI is making videos, as a filmmaker, what do you what is your perspective of that? Do you feel like it's going to take away most of what you could do because the budget is going to be like quarter? Because 50% of the budget goes to sound and sound design and music and everything in a in a movie now. And then the rest of the 50 in your cast, camera and everything. Alafu sasa hivi unaambiwa kuna AI yenye na prompt inaniambia kila kitu. If I pay for premium, it won't even reach 50% of the budget. And then it's going to cut off our actors and all these other talents. Kuna boy wa lights, hiyo ndo tu kazi yake, mazame specialize kwa sound. What do you think?
So my take is it won't, if anything, it's just going to enhance the tech that we already have in the
Is it like a healthy competition?
It's not even a competition. It's complementing what we do. If anything, it's improving what we're already doing. Like I used an example of, let's say I want to do a shot of, let's say I'm doing a documentary for a hotel in the Mara, and I don't really have to go there and take video of lions and all that. I might I might prompt it to do all those things for me. However, remember that when you are given a job, for example, and you need an actor or an actress to maybe to do, let me say like last year when we had the project where one of the companies gave us a job, we wanted to do like a Christmas, the Christmas advert. Yeah. So you see, if we had AI, we would have probably wanted to use the AI. But the AI will never give you that personal touch that a human being can give you, especially even because most actors and actresses, where they come in handy is they will know how to react and when to react. But AI, it might be just a caricature, just something moving without blinking even. So when you watch it, it's not even interesting. But remember when you watch that real human, maybe playing with a child and doing all these things, you feel like, because you see how even animation, the ones we do with Blender and all this, the way they blink, it's not very natural, you understand? So when you try and do them, well, they blink so fast again, so it's very hard to get that human. Let me tell you how you blink, how you do all these things, how you interact with people, how you interact with the screen. Because we would have done this thing with the AI and told it, put 4 people to speak about tech since the year 1995 to 2025, it would have done crazy things. But you see, this is very real to our viewers, and they can literally interact and understand and have a feel of what we are doing. And I think that is where AI just enhances what we're already doing, but it's not really coming to compete.
So it's just adding to our catalog.
Yes, just like adding, because now you can tell a client, for me to use AI and give you the final product, it's going to be $50,000. But I can do with real people at $200,000 or shillings. So you can come and decide, why do you think the human one is more expensive? Because there's cameras involved, there's people who have to be paid, but that one will have more impact than the 50K one. So someone will be like, I'd rather do haiko mbali sana 50,000 to 200 naweza jiskuma nifanyie tu na 150. So at the end of the day, the human will always win, because nani aliunda hiyo AI did not come from aliens, it's just the human, and we all have limitations.
Naona pale director ameanza kukunja sura, so just as we wind up, from you Kevo, what is your perspective from now a Christian point of view, like unaonaje story ya technology and how we can incorporate juu si tulilelewa stories za Sunday school, tuko tunaenda Sunday school, kuna the reason may feel like the reason ilikuwa Sunday school ni juu kulikuwa na physical blackboard, mwalimu alikuwa anaweza kuja aandike. But now Sunday school nyinyi mnafunza na whiteboard, ama juzi nilikuwa na Nyamosi ako na iPad, ako na tablet pale anafunza. I'm like okay, like what do you
I think looking at tech and how it grows and the history, you come to see the reason why it grows so much is because there's always that need of na hii kitu inaweza fanya hivi, unaambiwa hapana. Kidogo kidogo someone else discovers a way of doing what you wanted, what it did and what you wanted to do. So tech always grows and it's a good thing. The way we use it, the way we interact with it, inatusaidia vibaya sana, because looking at where he came from, imagine
Like me alone.
like let's say you've taken a photo, picha moja 100 MB, and then client anakuambia nitumie, unaambia usiku mzima itakuwa imefika. That's one photo. So tech, it's the way it's grown, internet, it's inatusaidia sana. But now with that, there's always the other side, which is now the bad side of it. And from a Christian point of view, I've seen parents complaining of how, their kids are so into tech. Like, I remember our Reverend akisema the only time mtoto anatoka kwa room ni wifi ikizima. Unamwona unaanza kushanga, kumbe ulikuwa. So there are downsides, but this is something that is manageable, that is trainable. We have the event we had a few days ago at school. There was a speaker by the name Grace Waidera.
I really wanted you to touch on that because now you're also a teacher, and a Sunday school teacher.
So she talked about how kids are glued to screens. Like, as let's say you're an older sibling or a parent, you have your own work to do, especially like during COVID. You're working from home, uko hapo na meetings, and your child anakusumbua. So what do? You buy an iPad, connect kwa Wi-Fi, mpatie. And then the kid is in a corner doing their own things where border to they are occupied, but you have no idea what they're doing. Your teenager is in their room locked. Room is always locked. You have no idea what websites they're accessing or what they're doing. But what she talked about is what we actually push parents to try is control screen time. Because now when a kid understands that, okay, this thing, I like using it, I like playing this game, I like watching this video, yes, but it needs to be controlled, because see ati ni mzuri 24/7, there are downsides. So kids are trained with that. They grow up knowing that TV si ya kila saa, TV ni ya kama uko free. Internet si ya kutumia kila mahali, kuna websites ufai ku access. Yeah, like I've interacted with parents who, rather than just blocking off websites on their routers, they tell their kids, hizi websites, kuna websites kama hizi na hizi na hizi, this is what they do. Tutazifunga, but if you access such a website, this is what you'll find, and this is what it will do to you. So the kid grows up with that notion that the internet is a very good place to be. Instagram utaenda, utawatch reels, ucheke, but if you click on the wrong link, utajipata huku. I've seen also parents complaining about things like, open server games where mtoto ana login. So the kid is playing a game where it's just the game. You see cartoons walking around, but now it's an open server game. Anyone can log in from anywhere. As I create profile yangu and I go in there, and I'm a predator. So
a while ago kidogo tu, a while ago ilikuwa how many left 2-3 months? Like 2 months ago, kulikuwa na msee kwa hood ya kina Ray, a child alicheza hiyo game, na hiyo game ikampush a commit suicide.
What?
Yeah. Open server. So open server games, a 7-year-old child. So open server games ni game unaingia. Ni uko home kwao sasa. So open server game ni games unaingia, si game kama nini, ni game unaingia. So ukiingia mimi utaona, so registered users wako hapo hivi, unaona. So unaona Ed Kemboy ndio huyu Kemboy ako na points nyingi, huyu atanilima, acha nitafute huyu mwenye anaanza, unachukua unacheza naye. So mnacheza on the other side of the internet and on this other side of the internet tuna play like actual games or something like that.
So now these games anyone can log in. That's why it's called open server. I can log in, create a profile, na nimeingia kwa game. So I'm walking around with this character yenye iko ndani ya game, but in real life I'm a 40-year-old maybe sexual predator. Predator. Shanga, I sound vizuri. And then the kid has no idea of my intentions. And then you befriend them on the game, and then naambia si tupatane hapa na hapa, and the kid actually just
kuna hadi place ya kuchat hapo. Najua watu wa brick game wameelewi basi.
Brick games
so brick game ilikuwa sasa yetu ni hizo open server. Brick game ilikuwa ni like a physical phone. Nakumbuka kulikuwa na brick game yenye nakaka iPhone. Ni box hivi iko na ka screen kadogo. Hiyo inaitwaje screen yenye ni there's a name for that screen.
Was actually a console. But ilikuwa ile inaitwaje hiyo screen ya zamani.
Hiyo ni Game Boy.
No, actually Game Boy. Ni brick game too.
Brick game.
Actually inaitwa tu hivyo brick game.
Hiyo screen inaitwa
buttons where you could just
kuna tu button ya kuscroll, button ya kupress nini ni kama
kwa 4 buttons after any and then you choose games.
Funny thing is inarudi with better screens.
With actually touch screens and all. Yeah.
Kuna brick game models. Atila kitambo ina slap unakanyaga hivi mafuta.
I think so. So like for example, growing up I wanted to be on Facebook. Ilikuwa imefika my friends wako Facebook, mimi niko hapo nasumbua nasema my friends wako Facebook, mbona mimi siko? But my parents told me yes, it's a good thing. You want to socialize with friends, to text. Unajua hiyo feeling yako kwa nyumba, you're texting someone and they told me it's a good thing, but the damage, the other side of it is if you don't know how to use it, someone can actually take advantage of you. Mtu anaweza kukon, mtu anaweza so it actually comes, it has to work side by side. Tech and the controlling and the training. Mzazi ajue that, yes, I'm giving this child access to tech, but ajue that it's not unlimited access. You have the internet, you have a TV or any form of tech, but jua that there are boundaries you shouldn't cross. If you cross, utaangamia patupu. So that's what we even do as we mentor kids in Bridge. That's what we urge parents to do even in school. Screen time, like unapata mtoto atakula ukimwekea Miss Rachel, all you do is put for them Miss Rachel. But if what the lady talked about as we close school was some of the things they are teaching, utajaribu kumfunza now the curriculum that you're using haingiani. So the kid ends up having a hard time to even speak because what alikuwa na watch na what anafunzwa haingiani. So mtoto anakuwa mnafikiria ni autistic juu aongei, but it's just that mulimfungia kwa room na screen
artificial autism.
So with kids who grew up around who were born around time ya COVID, napata they are glued to screens kila saa, they don't know how to interact with people. And I think I've seen this with some kids, hajui kuongea na watu. Alizoea tu game, reels na simu, that akipatana na mtu hajui even how to start a conversation. It's unafikiria ako autistic, but ako tu sawa. So control with internet and tech just needs control, and it's ever growing. Utafikiria umeset boundary hapa, kuna mtu anavunja hiyo boundary anataka kufikia mtoto wako. So it's ever set that boundary, anything else comes up, build your boundary equal stronger.
Yeah, I think that's where now Saido comes. Saido has specialized in ethical security. So apart from like apart from us not sharing cables with you, what else should we not do? What else can we do to be secure? One, don't share cables with Saido. Two,
basically,
very simuism.
Hapana, mimi I don't think cable yangu ni normal type C. If you want a phone to charge,
I need fast charger.
So the first thing, especially in security, by the topic, especially our children it's actually been discussed in the realm of cybersecurity, and kuna instances mingi tu where good hackers walipata hizi sites, and you know it's funny vile my friend hapa Kevo anasema these things are on the normal clear web. Zingine hata si lazima uende sijui uzitafute, hapana. Kuna zingine tu they are just on the clear web.
Hiyo app ilikuwa kwa Play Store.
So
funny enough,
you find out that vile anasema unaweka restriction yako ya router pale, umeblock DNS, lakini kuna ka site fulani hivi kana normal, kumbe ndo hiyo ndo mbaya. Yeah, so first of all, as vile wewe ameelezea vizuri, in terms of children, you should make sure that you set rules, you've be the parent. I'll just say be the parent. Wewe ngangana vile unangangana, ombea mtoto wako. It's very important, pray for your kids. And okay, in terms of personal kama personal security measures, number one, kuna kitu inaitwa tu just normal software hygiene. So make sure that kama kuna any update imekuja usipuuzie. Those updates are really important. Hizo ndo zina kuonyesha kwamba there was some faults zilipatikana kwa system, so kindly just do the update. Fixing the bugs. So that is the best way, I'll tell you, to actually in the matters, yani ile normal to make sure that you don't click normal random things. Umepata link kwa email, you know, especially the easiest thing that personally, kama if I'm going to attack anyone, the easiest way I'll use is just phishing attempts, because hizo phishing, so you send a link.
Hi, my name is John, I work from home and I earn 7,000. Follow my WhatsApp link.
Unakumbuka ile ulikuwa unasema ya login ya Facebook?
So hizo ndo vitu mimi naweza sema avoid, just clicking on things that haujui imetoka wapi tu. Mtu anakuambia sijui you want to win click this to speed. You know, before nikwe kwa the realm of cybersec sikuwa na jua hizo vitu. And I remember before nilikuwa na click that iPhone, I was like, hey,
lazima muipatie
kesho tutue raia nyumbani pale.
So those are the normal things. Make sure that you are using strong passwords. Make sure you don't password yako ya Gmail si the same ya Facebook si the same ya unaona. Make sure you are using
mbona unaangalia millennials
Kemboy 123 Kemboy 1963.
So especially passwords, make sure your passwords are long and kindly mimi huwa napendaga kusema tumia passphrase. Passphrase ni ile kama a sentence but it's a password. So rather than using Kemboy 123, just say I went to the market yesterday. That's a
yeke kikale. Yeke kikale sasa.
Yeke kikale.
But the good thing, kuna vitu zinaitwa password managers, so you don't have to actually go ahead and type hizo ma password. So you sign up kama una sign up a new account and you have a password manager, so that password manager inakupa a very strong unique password. You copy there, you use it, you know, and you don't unatumia.
Sorry, are they actually safe considering natumia
Apple wako nayo
natumia OS yenye actually hii system yote inanipeanga wanaitanga suggested password, kuna hiyo yenye actually my password manager inanipatianga tu, so inanipea characters more.
Ndio nasema suggested manager iko hata kwa browser kama Chrome, all the browsers.
So are they safe?
Hizo suggested password ni long. You look, they are very hard to crack. Password,
but are they safe in terms of where they are generated from?
Because remember zina change. You the moment to hata suggest another one.
I know it is, but my question is, let's say for example, I'm creating a website kwa, as you've said, let's say Gmail, and then Google inanisuggestia. Am I very sure, because for me I feel like it's a conflict of interest. Unanipea password na naeka password juu sitaki wewe ujue. So is it
so my approach from the little research I've done is the best way utakuwa ni use a passphrase when amesema, but now in your own language. When nimekwambia utumia kikale juu
normally add like exclamation.
Do you know why I'm saying that? Juu there's something called dictionary attacks. Dictionary attacks ni I'll prompt my computer to run attacks on your computer towards this database using, so, and if your password is in English, I'll probably find that, but if it's not, itapatikana.
Let me answer that question vile huyu amesema kuuliza kwamba is that suggested password that Chrome is giving me actually nafaa ni trust? Actually in IT I say haufai kutrust kitu chochote, but those suggested password, they are being generated via encryption. So vile ime generate hivyo, even Google doesn't know that is the password that they have generated. So it's a hash, it's encrypted. So if you take it, if you copy it and you paste it, it's the Google doesn't know. No, that's why unapata there's some system where if you ukipoteza password hata uende kwa customer support wanakuambia because fungua tu account nyingine because hata sisi hatujui ni nini ilikuwa generated.
I hope that is not your bank account.
So and there was a case actually where hiyo story mnaweza enda kuangalia YouTube where this guy actually alifanya password generation hivyo with there's this password managers squeeze wako wengi, kuna NodePass, kuna LastPass, so I don't remember what the service was, and then akachukua hiyo password and akakuwa ameitumia kwa Bitcoin wallet yake. Unaona? And then he ended up forgetting that password.
That's it.
And sasa ilikuwa ni kitambo around 2015 wakati Bitcoin haija gain popularity. So right now those Bitcoins ziko kwa hiyo address yake they were worth 15 million USD. This guy was like, man, I have to find a way. So he actually contacted hiyo password. Akumbuki hiyo password aligenerate ni gani, unaona? And akumbuki, yani ajui when akicontact hawa sewa hii kampuni wanaambia tuwezi kusaidia because the way it's being generated we actually atuko kwa hiyo.
So at least kuna hiyo assurance.
Yeah, so these guys he ended up hiring a cybersecurity researcher. The only thing they walifanya is walisema hebu tuende kwa ile version ulitumia ku encrypt. And then sasa walipopata hiyo version they tried to find
similar nini.
Yeah, they walijaribu sasa kurehash na kufanya okay ni vipi hii password ilikuwa generated, unaona, which is a process you have to know. And remember that is a version which had bugs because ilikuwa ni ya kitambo, so wakaenda wakarudi wakaangalia okay how were these hashes being generated, hii password ilikuwa ina mpaka wakamanage kupata hiyo password, you know. So that's why I'm telling you those suggested password that you're getting there
very safe.
Kwa backend huko hawajui ni nini ilikuwa generated. Yeah, so you have to be assured that it's very safe.
But
ndio maana nimekuambia use a phrase that you can remember, but start now in your local dialect. Itakuwa very easy.
But I've worked with companies where they have that generation nini ya kugenerate password, but after 3 months inakuprompt na huwezi login until you change your password.
And if you go even to the IT support umwambie bro nisaidie anakwambia mimi sijui.
No, they actually ask you input old password, now new password, they will log new password.
You cannot say later.
Vile KRA inafanya, which is
after every year they'll tell you change that password.
Change the password. Yeah.
So your KRA is sensitive.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying hizo normal things, strong password, software updates, just don't click things that you're not supposed to be clicking. Hizo no basics, you know. But sasa kuna zile advance where maybe wewe ni unasandwa you'll have to go through hizo route, yeah, but those are the ones that I'll suggest.
Yeah, I think it's safe to wrap it up there. Amesema tu nini moja, DNS ni domain name servers. Domain name servers ni kama addresses that the websites. So ukiblock the DNS umeblock address ya website, so yes nini.
So there is actually OpenDNS na hizi other companies which offer family protections. So unachukua hizo DNS zao wao kwa system zao wameblock all these websites that they think that they are not good for kids so kama ya OpenDNS wako nayo inaitwa Family Shield, where you take that and una input kwa router. So you know router is the one inaingiza connection yote na yeah. So if your child by mistake click link inajaribu kumpeleka DNS inakataa inablock. So it's a good way. Yeah, it's a good way. And hapo you can also continue adding zile ambao unaona umepatana random, you can just add,
pia watu wana move.
Yeah. And so pia uzuri the ones that kitu napendea, even my router personally iko na OpenDNS Family Shield. So and hiyo pia inakusaidia na kukutana with this malware type of websites ambazo zimekuwa malware that they can affect your system, unaona. So their system inaenda up kuscan the whole internet looking for these websites that are deemed bad. Inaongeza kwa list. So the next time wewe unajaribu kuaccess inakataa. That's those are the things that you can actually do as a parent. And mi wanasema maombi, prayers, jamani, maombi muhimu. Especially if it comes to kids and hii dunia tunaenda, the devil is hunting the younger generation
Bana,
so bad.
The devil
Yeah, yani yeye alisema
una account bana.
hata
Social media
hizi asumbuani na watu wazima.
Consistency.
Anasumbuana na younger generation. So the thing is, like I'll say, just pray for your kids and check that you fanya zile vitu you are required as a parent. That's it.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our time. This is probably one of the longest episodes we've had. But tuna feel kind of 5 minutes. But Nisa, maybe if you feel like we need a part 2, just tell us in the comments below. My name is Mwandembe. Our episodes premiere every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Tell a friend. We are on the road to. Hey.
Oh, I think director
We are on the road to 500 subs. Yeah.
Director pale ananiambia ni I do some shout out to my channel.
But they mention all your channels.
I started a YouTube channel where I teach people cybersec, ethical hacking. So kama if you're interested with those kind of things, my channel is called Euroborosec. And actually I'm planning also I have a website that I'm planning to do something called pen test as a service. Na niko na kinaidi hapa wanipe ma connection kwa hizi kampuni. So yeah,
link in the description.
Yeah, link itakuwa huko kwa Jokofu. And thank you guys.
Yeah. Karibu mazee. Umesahau kusema unatoka Mombasa.
By the way, ni pwani. Pwani hapo ni wapi? Kisauni hapo msikiti mkubwa. Salamu alaykum.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Maybe shout out to another company I work with, called Ronsoft. We build websites and we offer tech support and consultation. So
Link in the
link hapo kwa description. Yeah.
Oh yeah. First of all, Jokofu, thank you for having us.
Nilijua atasema ndio maana sikusema.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Ni mzuri useme ndio next time we invite you.
Tunaweza kataa.
Otherwise itabidi kwanza kudinina.
Unauliza next lini tutakwambia. Don't call us, we'll call.
Line ndefu but we'll get back.
So, thank you so much. This has been fun. I've learned actually this has been more or less
a history class,
kama a lecture hall where we all share experiences and we learn from each other. And I thank you very much for that. I'm a professional filmmaker, documentaries, events, everything you want covered, photos, video, graphic design, anything visual. Well, give me a shout out hapo.
AI.
Channel
AI.
So channel yangu ni Blackwalker Films.
Link in the description.
Link itakuwa kwa description hapo. Alafu pia you can go and check out some of the things we are trying to kufanya kwa hii industry. I hope si mbaya sana hizo.
And on how professional work is done. Link in that description.
Okay, yeah, we hope mutatu invite tena.
Sasa asanteni sana. Peace.